So, what was I going to say? Oh, we are picking up here, I think, from the fifth session. Or are we maybe doing one of those videos that I had to delete? I had to delete it because there was a cyber troll after me, and I realized it was a mistake in that particular video about the church being eclipsed to give my whereabouts, out. To give out my whereabouts. There was a cyber troll after me, and she was, oh my God, like demon possessed. So I know the difference between demon possession and someone that has done sufficient research to back up his findings. So, anyways, yeah, there's a difference between genuine discovery from research and gaslighting. So I was being in a major way gaslit by a sadistic narcissist or sociopath on a mental health YouTube site for those who have suffered under borderline influences in their lives and themselves may have borne those traits that I was invited to process along with others who also process those domestic wars, or domestic meaning, that could be within your country, that could be within your personal relationships, or within your community. So it can happen anywhere that you may come across somebody like that and then get them on you, as they say, and your own personality as a result. And so going back to what we were talking about on session 5 of the interviewing process with the Monsignor, he said that, he verified, which is not something other priests do. They'll just deny everything that you question them on. That could be controversial, just to avoid the controversy. But the Monsignor verifies everything, I don't know if it's because he's got too much knowledge going on inside of him, but he just says, well, yeah, in fact, he will bring things up himself. Yeah, well, what about the Black Mass, he'll say. I'm like, yeah, what about it? Anyway, but he verified St. Catherine Labouraire's statement, which was that even should the Pope sell his soul to Satan, that that Jesus Christ would still, or the Holy Spirit would still preserve the faith of Jesus Christ through that office, which is held by Saint Peter. And so I think like I told him, Well, either it's fake news and I got a taste of my own medicine with this cyber troll, misrepresenting me and trying to destroy me in the public eye, or um, and I thought later that maybe it's real, and this is an example of somebody um, at least borderline, which is only middle of the spectrum narcissist, right? It's not way up there. It's I think even below the middle of the spectrum narcissist. You got somebody that's at least borderline and chosen as to be a visionary for this extremely accountable position as Pope. So, representing the papacy here. So, I mean, it is very, very paradoxical, and I tried to speak to the walk away movement and draw parallels to it, but the cat got my tongue. Funny thing is that since all roads lead back to Rome, as they say, the, uh, for the best and the worst of life, because Mother Church is, got to take the blame along with the credit, since that's what mothers do. Well, the funny thing is that I I can talk pretty blatantly. Um, I can be out there with it, hiding nothing, sparing, barring nothing of what's going on. Really talk graphically about it. If I can, if I'm um, throwing stones, as it were, at what the I believe the Vatican is doing wrong, that I can do because I'm a visionary for, and that's how I do it, because I've got my visionary status back up. So I have a certain amount of authority in that and safety in that. And I got to be careful of not to feel too secure with that, though, because, I mean, some people say the Vatican martyred the original Lucia and that there was a second Lucia who was an imposter that wasn't really Lucia. I mean, people, it's also been said people have doubles, even among politicians and presidents. So, as well as Hollywood stars. So, um, and that there was even a double for Hitler. So, yeah, politicians and popes and, you know, Lucia, the visionaries have had doubles, and that the originals were martyred. So, I mean, I might I might rest on my laurels. Is that how you would say that? I might have too much security, in a sense, or feel like I have too much security in the fact that I'm a visionary for the papacy. Um, what it does is it buys me a little bit of time. It does buy me a little bit of time, and who knows? Maybe I'm thinking too much in a strategic fashion when in fact it could be the gift of faith that is removing my fear and dread it could be something supernatural that alleviates me of the fear and dread when I rely upon the visions to defend me or preserve my life. But when I was speaking, when I tried to represent the walk away movement and to draw any kind of parallels with that, I don't know if it's just because I'm a wounded warrior from having dealt with a troll, but the cat really caught my tongue. I really didn't feel like I was able to say much. And I simply stated that it's all for the same reasons. Just that kind of thing, like tongue in cheek, like, code language. One time, like one of my first videos that I uploaded onto Facebook, which I can't get over to, wouldn't know how technologically to get that over to YouTube at this point. Um, it was like one of my first ones where I was like crying over the issues, and people who wouldn't have known any better would have thought that the issues were, I don't know, like landmarks in history, like who served as pope for, or that one pope um, intimidated another pope off the papal throne, and he got it instead. They thought I was crying over stuff like that, and I was like really talking in code over things that are much more close to home. And you think probably who would have known about it? Who would have been able to detect it was talking in code? The ITCCS? But it was about, yeah, more issues related to the ITCCS and um, stuff I learned from. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Well, I mean, like other people are cooperating with these kinds of investigations, but they don't know ultimately where that leads. So, like History Channel, VaticanCatholic.com, Sergeant Report would know, and the ITCCS. But yeah, I'm not really crying because one pope, uh, intimidated another pope off of the papal throne. It's really not all that close to home for me until it leads, to the most vulnerable of our populations. Until the most vulnerable members of our populations get hurt. And that's what I was crying about. So that was earlier on in this disclosure, trying to juggle the responsibility of holy visionary types of experiences with uh, something even more close to home, which is, our domestic church slaves.